Welcome to Chaos Stories. There are many types of evil spirits and negative entities on Earth, but the deadliest mostly lure in certain isolated spaces in the world. One such place is Diwan Bawdi, in Chembur region of Maharashtra, India. Bawdi in Marathi language simply means a small river well. This well is said to be haunted by a very bad spirit. Many people staying nearby has witnessed and heard noises, sounds and also screams. Sometimes people claim to hear some woman moaning and crying in agony. They have seen ghostly apparitions near that well. Currently that well is located in an area which is less crowded with very little residents living nearby. Most of the houses and building are 300 to 500 miles away from the well. It's known as one of the most haunted wells in India, so no one living nearby dares to go inside or near that well. It's actually surrounded by dense trees and bushes all around, and as no one has stepped there from a long time, its land is untouched from past 20 years. The well is actually 350 to 500 feet away from the main road which passes by, so no one comes in contact with the well that easily. Even the locals are scared to go there. As many people living nearby are common civilians, and one or the other time in life they also need to sell their property, so no one talks about the haunted well as it will scare buyers and no one will purchase their land or property in that area, hence no one generally talks about it. The story goes by that in the year 1950, a nice and decent family was living there in that area. A man, his wife, his sister and 3 children along with his old parents. It was an Indian joint family. They owned a lavish big bungalow, and that bungalow had a beautiful well in its lawn. As the land on which the bungalow was constructed was nicely fertilized, it had the capability of growing good crops as well. As the land was of soft soil, the water from the rains used to get dissolved in the soil below, and hence the well in the lawn of the bungalow used to have water for all 12 months. The man used to work as a head clerk in a nearby post office. This post office was situated some kilometers away from where this family lived. One fine day there were some strangers were passing by and they saw that bungalow. These strangers were a bunch of people who had migrated to that area from Sangli, which is a city in Maharashtra state. They were bad and corrupt criminals, normally said to be goons. One of the goons was a builder and used to build and construct illegal houses and buildings. He also had political contacts. He liked that land so much that he visited that family one evening to strike a deal. But the man and his wife declined his deal and rejected his proposal, because they did not want to sell their property as it was their priceless possession. The bungalow was their hereditary property and they were living there from past so many generations. Their forefathers had built that bungalow 200 years ago, and at any cost they did not wanted to sell that property. The goons were extremely corrupt and sadist in nature and had a history of committing ruthless crimes. One of goon made a forced request which again was immediately turned down. They left in better state of mind, but while leaving the goons threatened to meet them again. The family was scared and decided to go the police, but no one helped them as one of the goon had good political contacts. After some days passed, some goons again visited their place, and this time they started threatening them at gunpoint. The family used to get harassed every alternate day. Sometimes the goons used to throw pieces of dead meat in their lawn and inside their windows, and as the family was pure vegetarians they used to feel disgusted by it. The man's sister was just 20 years of age, and one fine day when she was returning from her college, some goons tried to attack her in the middle of the road. They molested her and groped her. She nearly escaped them and came home crying. One of the girls, while returning from her school, was kidnapped for 2 days and then sent back home in a bad and ugly state. She was molested as well and kept hungry for 2 days in a basement camp nearby, by the goons. The man himself was beaten badly while returning from his office. He had scars and his blood all around his face when he came home. The family was tortured and harassed on daily basis, and they were scared. But they did not give up, and hence again tried taking help of legal personalities. But again, no one helped them as the goons had high-level political contacts. These corrupt goons then again visited them one night with 12 men dressed in black clothes and masks on their faces. These 12 men broke the main door, entered the house and stabbed the man, his wife and killed his parents ruthlessly. They even killed his 2 small daughters. The 3rd daughter was raped and murdered. His sister, however, escaped into the nearby forest area. But her luck was not that good, as she was captured after 2-hour-long search and then brought to the same bungalow. There, she was brutally gang raped and murdered. Her dead body was thrown in that well to rot. The well was sealed by the goons to never open again. The family living in that bungalow had vanished overnight and it was taken by some strangers. These strangers started living there with their family. They also brought their people from Songli to that bungalow. They had got a very beautiful, lavish plot very easily. But nothing comes free. 10 years passed and the new people living there had forgot everything. The goons started living there in joint family as well. Some of the goons had gone to visit their native place for some days and their grandchildren were alone at that time with their parents. Some aunts and uncles were also there, who were family members, but had no idea as how this place had come to their luck to live in. They enjoyed living there, and, one fine night they started to smell something very rotten from the well which was present in the lawn of that bungalow. The well was sealed by their family, and the people currently living there had no idea about the history of that bungalow and the well. They were strictly told by the old family members that the seal of the well should never be opened. The uncle living there came outside to stroll and also to take a look at the rotting smell coming from the well. He heard moaning noise from inside the well and thought that there is someone stuck inside the well, so he started to open the seal, but suddenly stopped as he remembered that everyone in the family was told to never to open the seal of the well, so he stopped. As he stopped, he heard cries of a woman inside that well. He thought that there surely must be someone down there. He innocently cracked open the seal and the rotten smell increased badly. He then looked inside the well to see if someone is there, but saw to his surprise that a woman, half naked, with scars and blood on her face and her whole body, having red eyes and blue skin, was growling at him. He started running to the direction of the bungalow, and suddenly screamed. Everyone heard his scream and came out to see what had happened, just to find out the parts of his body scattered all around with blood everywhere. The goons who had committed the crime many years ago came to know about the incident and hence, he urgently called his whole family living there to their native village back, immediately. But all were scared to come out of the bungalow, so he visited that place with some of the brothers to save his family. Residents living nearby say that night they heard loud moans and cries and ugly screams from that bungalow. The next day 12 bodies were found in that bungalow, and the bodies of 2 goons were found inside that well. These goons were old men in their 60s and were beaten, scratched and cut so badly that even the officials could not recognize them. After that, the bungalow was broken and dismantled and reconstructed, but no one could break that well. People hear loud cries from that well, mostly of a woman. On full moon the cries would get even louder. People has seen some shadows passing by or following them from behind when they used to pass that area in the night. They have seen eerie apparitions of an injured and bruised woman with blood on her whole body and hairs all above her shoulders coming towards her chest. This woman is said to possess whoever used to pass that road or whoever used to come nearby that well. People were too scared to go around it as well, but as years passed by her haunting became frequent. Today in 2021, still that well is there in that area, but it's sealed and protected by some Indian pundits. They saw, as you sow so shall you reap. This is karma, and the people who committed very grave and sadistic crimes got what they deserved. The evil spirit of that woman is still there. They say the spirit is of that innocent sister of the man whose family was killed overnight by the goons. His sister experienced very bad and ugly death which was brutal, and she gave much more brutal and ugly death to those who killed her and her family and forcefully took her house from her. The evil spirit living there is very hateful and till today can be seen on some full moon nights. Tell us if you like the story, and your feedback in the comments section. Please share the video if you like it and spread awareness. Subscribe the channel for more such content.